My last segment was essentially me venting my frustration at seeing the absurd nonsense that Ocasio-Cortez tweets and highlighting some of the responses to it. But there was more. And so, when I was going through the story, I was like, I can easily call out, several of the things she said that are nuts. But the point was that she says something crazy and then turns it into an official position and then obstructs or proposes nonsense. So let's get into that. She tweeted, "The GOP has supported building mass concentration camps on the southern border. Here she goes quadrupling down. Kids and families are dying. Okay, hold on. There's been a few deaths, dude. Chill. Now they want money for more. No, they want money to get the kids the toothbrushes they need. Because everyone's complaining we don't have the resources to accommodate them because we're facing record numbers of illegal immigrants. Yes, we need money. And guess what? The Democrats agreed, except for the fringe leftists like Ocasio-Cortez who are saying no money for nothing." She says we can't do that. "They've shown that when they get more money, they build more camps." Okay. No. Okay, actually, yes. Yes, they will build more camps because we're overcrowded. That's part of the problem. But of course, she takes the fringe, ridiculous position that they're concentration camps. So here's the thing. She was quote tweeting Rashida Tlaib, who put out a statement. And guess what their proposed solution is? I'll give you a few seconds. Let's rehash. The Democrats want to do a bipartisan bill with Republicans, $4.5 billion in funding to solve the humanitarian crisis on the border. The far left Democrats like Rashida, Elon, and Ocasio-Cortez are obstructing this. You know why? Because they have a better solution. Empathy and compassion. I'm not kidding. That's literally their proposed solution. Empathy and compassion. This makes me really, really angry. I'm serious. Like, you'll see me, in the last video, in the last segment, I'm like frustrated and venting, but that's more of like a point, like pointing out the absurdity kind of frustration. But this genuinely ignites anger within me. I want the problem solved. I want these people helped. What do you say? The Trump administration is criminalizing immigrants instead of offering empathy and compassion. What does that even mean? You have said literally nothing. You know why I'm really angry? I will tell you who is causing the crisis at the border. It's Rashida Tlaib, it's Ocasio-Cortez, it's Ilhan Omar, and it's and Rep. Presley. I'm less familiar with her, Ayanna Presley. She does better of not being as controversial as the others, I suppose. Hashtag not $1. Okay, there are kids that are suffering and dying, and you won't give $1. You are causing the problem. They refuse to offer up any solutions. Where do we bring these people? Do we just have them wander the desert? Do we just open the borders and let anybody come and go wherever they want? Do we ferry them to random cities where you have Portland, Maine, and Del Rio, Texas already begging the feds for help? Because we can't accommodate all of these people that are just rushing the border? No. We need border security, and we need resources for those who are here so they're not suffering in what you call a concentration camp. Instead, they rant and rave and complain all day and night about how these are concentration camps. They refuse to back down. They make it their official position. And then they say, but we're not going to give you one penny to actually help these people. That is sick and twisted, and I've had enough. Seriously, these people are nuts and they're dangerous. It's one thing to make fun of Ocasio-Cortez because she said something that's silly and stupid on the internet. It's another thing when they're absolutely obstructing humanitarian aid and there are people suffering and there are people standing behind them for tribal reasons who refuse to act on principle and say, I don't care what you want to do. I care about helping the people on the border who are suffering. Oh, but they don't want Trump to win. Congratulations. This is what you get. Not $1. So look what they said. We cannot turn our backs on the abuses taking place on our own soil, executed by our own government. Yes, because they need funding. Because the Democrats wouldn't get on board with funding, giving Trump what he wanted. Oh, because they don't want any deportations. They want to abolish ICE. Seriously, they say abolish ICE. Okay. You want to abolish ICE. You don't want to give humanitarian aid. What's your solution? It seems to me they just want to wash their hands of anything and walk away and turn a blind eye, which would result in children wandering the desert, as we've already seen, getting dehydrated and dying. So you literally want to do nothing. With no border security, these illegal immigrants are incentivized to come here, okay? I have nothing but sympathy for them if they want to come here. I get it. America is great. But then they wander through the desert, get sick, get exploited. But you wonder why the Koch brothers wanted open borders. Even Bernie Sanders pointed this out. It's a Koch brothers policy to have open borders so they can exploit cheap labor. And guess who's behind the Koch brothers? Guess who's standing shoulder to shoulder with a firm hand available for a handshake? Rashida Tlaib, Ocasio-Cortez, and Ilhan Omar agreeing. No camps, no borders, and no ICE. Wonderful. Then the massive corporations like the Koch Industries and their subsidiaries will exploit cheap labor all day and night. Remember when there was a left that was concerned about this? Bernie Sanders was one of those people. But I'll tell you what. Even though their proposed, what they actually want is empathy and compassion, whatever that means, I would have assumed empathy and compassion would have been you providing funding to make sure that people on the border are being fed and taken care of. But sure, whatever you think empathy and compassion is, apparently leaving people to wander through the desert is compassion. But regardless of what they want, I'll tell you what's happening. ICE is set to launch nationwide raids on immigrant families starting this weekend. And you know what really frustrates me? It's the weird doublespeak they do. I know why Hamed I'm sorry, I can't pronounce your name right. I know why he wrote this without adding the caveat, illegal immigrant, because this is the game that they play. Specifically, to omit that key word, because immigrants and illegal immigrants are different things. They want you to believe that ICE is just raiding random people's houses. No, these are people who have skipped court, who have deportation orders. And the law, because no one is above the law, president included, says that these people should be deported. Unfortunately, you have people like Cortez who don't want to do anything for those suffering on the border. They want to complain about it. Do they want to offer them any money? No. Do they want to offer border security? No. And then once the people are here, they just say, let them do their thing. Yes, this is why people say the Democrats are for open borders. Because even the mainstream centrist type Democrats resisted Trump's calls for border funding. Even after major publications said, guys, give them the money, they resisted. And now they're finally getting on board. But guess who isn't? Yeah, the far left. Let's read a little bit of this. BuzzFeed writes, the roundup targeting families who have been issued final removal orders is expected to begin Sunday in several cities across the country. ICE is planning to conduct a multi-day raid targeting undocumented immigrant families across the country beginning this weekend, according to sources close to the administration. The roundup is expected to begin Sunday in several cities across the country, including LA, targeting families who have been issued final removal orders after not appearing in court. The enforcement action comes during a period in which the administration has called for additional funding to help add resources to handle the record number of immigrant families crossing the border this year. I'm sick of this. I'm sick of it, BuzzFeed. We're not talking about immigrants. And this is just so absurd. Let's call them illegal aliens. That's the legal term. They're playing a semantic game, and it's really annoying. Immigrant families are not crossing the border. Illegal aliens are. And there's a difference. You besmirch the good name of honest immigrants who fight every day for legal citizenship and legal access to the United States. And there's a reason we do it, because we don't want people suffering on the border. There is no mastermind twirling a mustache behind the scenes going, put more people in camps. It doesn't exist. There are people on the border saying, how can we deal with all of these people coming here? There are people in ICE saying, we cannot accommodate everyone. You can't just have people in San Francisco taking dumps in the street. Or in LA, we have a homeless crisis. Okay? LA, with a Democratic supermajority, has a homeless crisis, couldn't pass a housing bill. And of course, we can't even pass bipartisan funding because the far left is obstructing it. There is no person sitting in the White House laughing with a top hat and a monocle about how they want the migrants to suffer on the border. No. You've got people saying, please, don't make the journey. It's dangerous. We can't accommodate you. You will die in the desert. It is dangerous. And you have people like BuzzFeed conflating the struggling migrant family who filled out all their paperwork, answered all their questions, and came here to find the American dream with those who are just coming here because they want Buffalo Wild Wings. I chose specifically the two most extreme examples. The hardworking migrant who wants the chance at the American dream, and from the Vox article, right, the left-wing Vox, who said, I miss PlayStation and I want Buffalo Wild Wings. Who deserves to be here? The person who works really hard and says, I will be an asset to your country and your community, and I will help you if you help me. You say that to me, and I will say, let me know what you need, and I will take care of you. You run past me because you want chicken wings. We've got a problem. You are taking from those hardworking people, and when BuzzFeed does this, they conflate the two, and I take offense to that. I'm getting so fed up and frustrated with this. But trust me, a lot of people see me when I'm like frustrated in these videos and they're like, Tim, oh man, you're so angry. It's like, dude, it's 10 minutes. Trust me. I'm going to go out and go skating afterwards and it's all fine. It's just every day with these far left AOC, with AOC. Look, I made a half-an-hour video celebrating her victory in the primary because I was happy to see a young upstart displace these, incumbent long-term corporate whatever Democrats. But Ocasio-Cortez has proven time and time again, she doesn't care. All she cares about is being right on Twitter. I think she is a disgraceful monster. People on the border need aid. She's blocking it. That is disgusting. I'm done. I got one more video coming up in a few minutes. Stick around. I'll see you there.